Life isn't hostile, but it is complicated. It operates in that fragile balance between chaos and order. When something collapses in your life, whether it's the loss of a job, a broken relationship, or a betrayal, it feels, in the moment, like the universe itself has turned against you. But that's not quite true. What's happening is that the structure you built, the order you depended on, has been disrupted. That disruption is not a punishment, it's the inevitable encounter with chaos. And chaos, uncomfortable as it is, contains the raw material for transformation. Think about it. If everything stayed predictable, if nothing ever broke down, you'd remain static, unchanged, and untested. You wouldn't grow. The reason life shakes you is because you are not yet finished. You are not yet fully aligned with what you could be. So, chaos steps in, and it dismantles what isn't working, sometimes violently, sometimes cruelly, but with the potential to create a new form of order. It's not that life is against you. It's that life demands more from you than comfort and complacency. The difficulty is its way of pressing you to confront your weakness, to identify where you've built your foundation on sand rather than stone. And yes, it hurts. It feels personal. But that pain is the signal. You are being repositioned. So, when you encounter those moments where everything falls apart, recognize that you're standing at the edge between order and chaos. That is the most dangerous, but also the most meaningful, place to be. You have the chance to rebuild, stronger this time, with more courage, more discipline, more truth. Life isn't your enemy, it's your harshest teacher, and it repositions you so that you can become someone capable of carrying the weight of existence. When life throws you into chaos, what matters most is not the event itself but your response to it. Two people can go through the same devastation. One loses everything and collapses into bitterness, while the other uses that same loss as fuel to rebuild a stronger future. The difference isn't luck, it's responsibility. How you choose to respond to the tragedy determines whether it becomes a grave you never crawl out of or a stepping stone that repositions you. There's a dangerous temptation to see yourself as a victim when things fall apart. And of course, sometimes you are wronged, sometimes you are treated unjustly. But the danger lies in staying there, believing the world has singled you out, that life itself has declared war on you. That belief is poison, because it strips you of power. You can't control whether storms arrive, but you can control whether you let them destroy your spirit. Responsibility means you stand in the storm and say, "This will not define me. My response will." Every setback confronts you with a choice: retreat into resentment or rise into responsibility. The first path makes you small, fragile, unable to carry the burdens of life. The second path strengthens you, because each time you take responsibility, you discover you're capable of far more than you imagined. You start to see obstacles not as personal attacks, but as challenges that demand you become sharper, wiser, more resilient. Your response shapes your destiny. Life isn't against you, it's forcing you to prove that you can bear the weight of existence without breaking. And in that responsibility lies freedom, because you no longer wait for the world to change. You change yourself, and in doing so, you change how you move through the world. Happiness is fragile. It comes and goes with the weather, with the way people treat you, with whether things unfold according to your plans. But meaning is something deeper, something that anchors you when happiness evaporates. Life isn't concerned with giving you comfort. In fact, too much comfort makes you weak, unprepared for the inevitable storms that will come. What life does instead is place obstacles in your path, not because it hates you, but because it wants you to grow strong enough to carry the weight of meaning. When you suffer, and you will, the question that keeps you alive isn't, "How can I stay happy?" but, what is this suffering demanding of me? That's where meaning emerges. It shows up in responsibility, in the willingness to bear burdens, in refusing to run when things collapse. If you cling to happiness, you'll resent hardship, and resentment will rot you from the inside. But if you pursue meaning, you'll see hardship as the very soil in which you are meant to plant new strength. The truth is, happiness can be taken from you in a moment. A single loss, a single betrayal, and it disappears. But meaning, if you cultivate it, cannot be stripped away. Meaning is what allows you to walk through fire and not be consumed. It allows you to suffer and still say, this pain will not waste me, it will shape me. So don't aim for a painless life. Aim for a meaningful one. Because when comfort fails, and it always will, meaning remains. Life isn't against you when it denies you comfort. It's repositioning you towards something stronger, something unshakable, something worthy of the suffering that comes with being alive. Failure is often misread as rejection, as if life itself has slammed a door in your face and declared you unworthy. But failure is rarely the end. More often, it's a recalibration. It's the compass of existence turning you slightly, sometimes painfully, toward a direction you would never have chosen on your own. Think of it this way. When a plane flies across the ocean, it is off course most of the time. The constant corrections are what keep it moving toward its destination. Your life is no different. The setbacks, the disappointments, the losses, they are course corrections, not condemnations. It is easy to get trapped in bitterness when something falls apart. The job you thought was secure disappears. The person you trusted leaves. The plan you built your future on collapses. In those moments, the question rises, why me? But maybe the more honest question is, why not me? Why should you be exempt from the fundamental process of realignment that defines every living being? Growth does not come from smooth sailing. It comes when the winds shift, when you are forced to adjust, when you are pushed off the path you clung to and guided toward one you couldn't see yet. What feels like destruction is often reorganization. You lose something, but in that loss you're invited to examine what really matters, what was false, what was weak, what had to break in order for you to become more resilient. Life isn't in the business of indulging your illusions. It tears them down so that you can rebuild on a foundation of truth. So when failure strikes, don't interpret it as rejection. See it for what it is, recalibration. Life is repositioning you, often against your will, toward a truer version of yourself and a stronger future. You are not powerless, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. The world is heavy, and it will crush you if you let it. But the moment you decide to take responsibility, not just for what happens to you, but for how you carry it, you discover a strength that was hidden. Life has a way of making people believe they are victims of circumstance, and sometimes the pain is real, the injustice undeniable. But the truth is, if you stay trapped in that mindset, you surrender the only real power you have, the power to stand tall in spite of it. Responsibility is not a burden meant to break you. It is the weight that shapes you into someone capable of withstanding the chaos of existence. The act of saying, I will carry this, no matter how heavy, transforms you. It transforms your posture, your character, even your future. That is why those who take ownership of their lives rise above despair. They refuse to be defined by the blows they've received. They define themselves by how they respond. And it doesn't take a miracle to do this. It takes a decision, repeated daily, to stand up straighter, to speak the truth, to act with integrity, to carry your share of the burden without collapsing. In doing so, you reclaim control over your life. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you, because you become the one who can rescue yourself. Life isn't trying to crush you. It's pressing you to find out how much weight you can carry without breaking. That is where dignity lies. That is where power lies. Not in avoiding responsibility, but in embracing it fully, and in doing so, becoming the kind of person who can endure whatever the world throws at them. Life repositions you because it knows you are meant for more than survival. Every obstacle, every loss, every collapse is a way of pushing you toward a higher purpose. If everything went your way, you would settle for being comfortable, and comfort breeds stagnation. But when life disrupts you, when it shatters what you thought was secure, it is demanding that you become more resilient, more disciplined, more aware of the weight you carry. There is something inside you that is stronger than you realize. You don't discover it by accident, you discover it when you're forced to. You discover it when you have no choice but to stand in the wreckage and rebuild. That's when you find out that you can endure more than you thought possible, that you can rise from chaos with a deeper clarity about who you are and what you are capable of. Life repositions you not to punish you but to strip away the layers of weakness, so that your core strength can be revealed. This repositioning is never easy. It often feels brutal, like you're being torn away from everything familiar. But what if the familiar was holding you back? What if the path you wanted wasn't the path you needed? Life doesn't care about your comfort, it cares about your potential. And potential only emerges when you're willing to move beyond the narrow walls of what you thought was safe. So when you feel like life is against you, look deeper. You're being shifted, sometimes violently, toward a higher alignment with your own purpose. You are being pushed to grow into someone who can withstand the storms, carry the burdens, and live with meaning. That isn't life rejecting you, that's life demanding